What is up, guys and girls? Hurricane Liz here, and I'm still in my pajamas. You might even be able to see the reflection, but you didn't. You can see the reflection of my actual balcony. This is one of my two balconies, and right here we got, check this out. Oh shit! Guess who's getting busy grilling up some goodies? So I usually do fire up this grill. I got a fridge here. Unfortunately, I don't have any goodies in there other than, oops, I forgot to take this squash out and it went bad. So note to self, and clean lady has not actually looked in there. So note to self that I got to take that crap out of the actual thing. Good for everyone that I did not forget about this grill, and I'm still using it to grill some stuff like mushrooms and stuff. And this is the rest of it. So this is the hot questions of the week. But somebody asked, can you show your balcony? So this is one of my balconies. I've got another one on the other side. It doesn't have a grill. It's not as exciting. And I'm right next door to the Four Seasons. And that pool over there that you guys just saw is usually just freaking happening. Like all sorts of crap happening, all sorts of stuff going on there. But you can see that right now there's nothing. And you can also see from my hair blowing all over the place, the bad haircut that I gave myself during quarantine. It's like super short. So my hairdresser had to come over and try and fix that mop and that fro, but it just wasn't happening. It's got to grow out, so I got to give it time. So, all right, just wanted to give you guys a quick tour of my place. That's it in a nutshell. This is a pretty big balcony and another one over there, but I'll show you guys more of my place if you're actually really interested. Other than that, I'm excited to jump into these questions of the week. We got some great ones, so here we go. Again, this relates to anything KDP, FBA, merch, anything I've done, reselling, eBay, all that. You can ask me anything and I will answer. So let's go ahead and jump into the hot questions of the week. All right, guys, so we're going to take the questions one at a time. Here we go. People actually said they like this format, so if you don't, I apologize. You just don't even watch it, you know. But let's go ahead and jump into these questions, and I'm looking at them down, so it's not that I'm not looking at you. I'm just trying to see what's going on. I think I need glasses, and that's just one of my many problems. I got 99 problems, but I'm not going to tell you what ain't one, so let's go ahead and start it up. Skylife says, and I will kind of actually summarize some of these questions that are more lengthy and take the important bits out of them, as I did answer them in the actual comments area. So if you asked these questions, I probably already answered you, and so take a look there. But Skylife says, his question is out of topic, but he just wanted to know what strategy is best between these two. And this is related to KDP, but as always, I take questions on all of Amazon and all of reselling in general. Working on a specific niche, like the recipe book, for example, so doing keyword research around that niche and uploading a lot of books, like maybe 50 to 80, and moving on, and or throwing and spraying and praying in a bunch of different niches. And my answer to that is basically, it depends on what journey or what part of your KDP journey you're at, or merch, because this applies to merch too. If you're brand new, you almost have to spray and pray to find out what niches you're good at, right? After that, and after you start to see patterns, remember I take patterns as 3 or more sales. If you have one particular book that you uploaded and it magically gained sales itself, specifically 3 or more, then you've got a winner on your hand, and you probably should start exploring that niche. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean dedicating time to just creating books in that particular niche, the 50 to 80 that Skylife is talking about, and exploring to see what happens if you just focus on that single thing for a brief period of time. So that's how I would play it. That's what I would do. And that's basically the answer to that, Skylife. So thanks so much for your question. Now I've got this one that is like really lengthy, but I think it's super important and explores a lot of different things on what we talked about. This is a more advanced question. And so it's a great question because we got into it back and forth, Richard and I did. So the question is, to avoid the trademark route for gaining brand analytics, which tool has the most accurate data from Amazon? My answer to that is I don't know. I don't think there's a single tool right now that's mainstream that has the ability to give you the SFR, which for those of you who don't know is the search frequency rank, or the popularity as per Amazon. I'm not talking about search volume, which tools make guesses on. I'm talking about the real deal, the real shiznit right here is SFR, which Amazon gives people that have brand analytics absolutely free. So if you have a trademark, register for brand analytics to get this data. If you don't, then there's really no tool out there. There used to be one called Zoof, but it's not worthwhile anymore. It no longer has SFR. I wouldn't use it. I would stick to the mainstream tools, which are using estimates. Now, as I told Richard, Amazon is not allowing people to use this tool because they specifically say in the terms of service of brand analytics, you cannot leak this data to people that don't have brands. They want big brands to succeed. So their goal is to get everybody on the platform trademarked and to know that everybody they're dealing with is a big brand. So Richard asks, so he feels that because I basically told him there is a black hat way to get this, which is you go to an underground person who has data from this, who used to pay off Amazon employees to collect this data, and it does exist. Look at the articles that are out there. As I've gotten some of this data, I can even show you guys in another video. If you ask me to show you below, I've showed it briefly in another video, a report that I got that showed some insane data, a complete opposite data, what we would imagine would be making sales for our actual books. I showed it. It's real data that exists out there that you have to look for, and it's very expensive. So I would only recommend doing this on a book that you put a lot of time and effort and energy into, and or if you're selling an FBA product and you're going to be selling it long term. That's when I actually shell out whatever kind of bread they want in order for this data, because then it becomes extremely valuable because you can leverage this data on your long-term selling products. It's the only time I would do it, but it is available out there. So that's kind of the gist of that actual question, but it was a great question from Richard. Design King says, the tool which I mentioned the other day ago, which is Merch Ninja, is good, but I like the classic hot 5 niches hunt. I agree with you, Design King. That's why I listened. A lot of people said this, and I just wanted to point out I will continue the classic 5 hot niches hunt, and I will be going down several other rabbit holes to show you guys other ways to figure out what is fire, right? Here is KB says, is it better than Helium-10? I think he's talking about market intelligence, and I got several of these questions, so you'll probably see several sprinkled out throughout this video. The truthful answer is, I'm not sure anymore. I used to think it was better than Helium-10. However, I haven't compared the two side by side in a very long time. You see, market intelligence used to be the innovative tool and the pioneer of the entire industry at one point, but I feel that since that point, they've just lagged, and Helium-10 has gotten better and better. So I cannot give you a truthful answer. I will have to do a comparison side by side, and I will do it at some point, and I will probably do it in comparing it to that actual report that I talked about with the underground data, so we can truly see and have a huge picture of what works best on Amazon and if it's really good to shell out money for this additional data. And again, I do believe it is when you have an FBA product or a long-term book that you are going to devote a lot of time, money, and energy into, but I don't think it's useful in the spray and pray method. I think with the spray and pray method, we stick to search volume and we stick to Helium-10 and our market intelligence and even whatever that thing is, keyword rocket or keyword publisher, whatever. Any one of them work. So here again is the same thing. How do I feel that it's better than Viral Launch and or vice versa? I don't know yet, Laura, but I will be exploring it and trying to figure out for you guys what I prefer now in 2020 at this very moment. All right, Noreen asks, Liz, can you explain your logic for finding good keyword searching on Amazon and or under all or searching under books? Because the results for all is 1,000 but 6,000 when searching for books under Dragon Coloring Book. Now, Noreen, well, I like to take a look at both of them. Again, as we saw in the Amazon Trick Me video, I don't really pay too much attention to what results say. I want to actually, I really look into SFR because I do have access to brand analytics. So I don't really pay too much attention to the results because we don't know what the truth is. So don't pay too much attention to that. I will sometimes when I'm separating my keywords where I have no choice but to, because as you'll see in the video that I'm doing next week, the way I separate them, it depends on search volume and that we have to use what we're given access to. So that's about the only time I pay attention to anything, but that is typically search volume as opposed to results. So I don't pay too much attention to that, but I will look at both the results in all and in books just to get a broader idea of what could be the truth. But I don't pay too much attention to that is the gist of my answer. Next question is, this is probably my favorite. I love to answer these haters back because I think these are freaking hilarious. Pablo says, this girl is a liar. Don't believe her anything. She doesn't make the 7 figures she says she makes. Her real name is Elizabeth Herrera. No shit, buddy. Really? I had no fucking clue that was my real name. She says she's an author, but I don't see any books under her real name. All is bullshit. Yeah, you're right. I don't have any books under my real name. I have publishing companies and pen names. And again, I never said I made 7 figures in KDP. I'm only bringing my actual FBA knowledge over to KDP because I see how the algorithm works, and the KDP and the book algorithm is behind the Amazon FBA algorithm. So what's already happened in FBA is happening on KDP all over again. And you can verify whatever you want. I have some verifiable brands that are worth 7 figures. They make over 7 figures. You guys have seen the numbers. I'm not bullshitting. I've hit refresh while I'm on the actual thing, but whatever floats your boat, buddy. If you want to sit here and be a cynic and just respond to my videos, every single one with this, then I really feel sorry for you. I think you need a hug. I think you need some love because you obviously don't have a life. So So whatever, be happy, get a hug from somebody, even if it's somebody like Bluey the dog. All right, Vito has a very long answer here. So a question. So the gist of Vito's question is that it seems that everybody's going for the same keyword phrases, and I agree with him. So ranking organically for a new book without sales or reviews, it seems to be it's a little tougher, right? Is what the gist of it is. So he's explained to me his process for loading up the back end and his title and all that good stuff, and that is all correct. However, most people, and the problem with it is that we're missing one aspect of everything, Vito, which is the advertising and the marketing aspect. So I've blown a lot of money just to gain data and to kind of understand the algorithm better. And I've done it both on Facebook as well as PPC. And I'll get into some of those strategies of how we actually truly come up for these words. Because at the end of the day, you're absolutely correct. We're all competing for the same high volume keywords. So what's a person to do when they can't show up for any of those words because 10,000 others are going for the same exact words? I'll break it down in my next keyword research video on how to potentially come up for smaller terms and then earn your way up to the top. But it's very difficult unless you do pour some advertising dollars into it. That's the gist of the answer to this question. So let's go ahead and move forward. Joanne says, there used to be a program called Ramblin' Rod. I'm much cuter than Ramblin' Rod. I appreciate you, Joanne. And love the question and answer. Next time I'll go get a question about, do you have a balcony to take advantage of the weather? Yes. Next, in fact, I've filmed this intro in my balcony and I'll show you guys around. And you should have already seen that. So it's almost like I have a time machine, or either that or I'm nuts. All right, Fluent Ad says, I did all that though I'm selling on Etsy, Redbubble, TeePublic, and my own website, but I got rejected 2 times, maybe because I live in Canada. I've not heard of people being rejected because they live in Canada, Fluent Ad, and this is regarding merch and trying to apply to get approved for merch. I would say to you, look back over the actual designs that you gave them. Are you sure that none of them are trademark infringed? Like on one of the accounts that I got rejected for, I actually uploaded a trademark infringed design and I did get declined at some point later. So look at those designs. You might need a better collection of designs and to put more effort into that. And you might want to change up some of your answers, specifically how much you make or you plan to make, and or if you have an external site. So it might be worthwhile your time to devote some extra time to that part of the whole process. So next one up, I just wanted to show you guys, this is the response I got when I asked people on my email list who wanted to find out how I was getting these sales, these sewing machines, and selling them. And I sold 5 more sewing machines this past week. It was 5 or 4, I can't remember, but I'll show you guys in the next video how I did that. But this is the response. I got almost 64 responses to this point, but all in all, I got 200 plus responses for people that are going to be jumping into that brand new free reseller group that I'm creating right now. So that's it. That is a wrap. That's all the questions I have. Again, questions or comments below. I always personally answer them. And if you give a good question, I might just start giving away a prize for the best question of the week. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.